Welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, as you can see, Chelsea versus Watford away from home. I've got to admit, I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit worried about this particular fixture, but we've got to win. We've got to win. Let's see what happens.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the other side of the coin. As I said, I'm a little bit worried. There's a lot of injury issues that's happening at the moment. Not only the players that are out, but there's some doubts over certain other key players as well. Breaking absolute Chelsea. This is straight from the press conference. This is what Thomas Tuchel had to say. Reece James, Jorginho, and Timo Werner are doubts and will face late assessments for Watford clash. Now, this is a bit worrisome for me, to be honest, because we've got a game 2 days after the Watford game against West Ham, which is the early kickoff on the Saturday. And if I'm being honest, I'm probably not risking any of these players in this particular match, as much as they're important, but they won't be able to play 2 matches in a row in such a short time, especially when they have an injury cloud behind them, when they're down. The crazy part here is Reece James, ladies and gentlemen. We already don't have Ben Chilwell, who bangs in the goals. And now if we take away Reece James, that's 5 goals, 5 assists in this season so far in all club competition. You take that particular player out as well, now we are seriously in trouble. And we are going to have to hope our attackers pull a bunny out of the hat. Honestly, that's exactly what we have to hope. And also Jorginho, no Kante, which we'll get to as well. So having no Jorginho too, then who's the pivot? There's no Kovacic either. Who's going to be in the pivot? Ruben Loftus-Cheek, obviously, and maybe we might have to think about Saul. Timo Werner up front is a doubt as well. Look, in all honesty, I probably wouldn't have started him in this particular match. I need to start thinking about Romelu Lukaku and Kai Havertz up front. So for me, as much as I want Timo Werner to be fully fit and be a squad player, I suppose, that particular one does not worry me too much. But Reece James and Jorginho, especially Reece James, is a big one. This is the proper injury front at the moment. Ben Chilwell, as we all know, is out a long time. He's not going to feature all of December, and then we'll make a decision on him at the end of December to see if he needs a surgery or not. Hopefully he doesn't need a surgery and that his ACL is recovering. Mateo Kovacic, ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious concern as well. Hamstring injury. He's now been out for a little while, and look, by the time he's ready, probably the whole month of December could just disappear because he's not even in training at the moment. So by the time he comes back to training, full fitness, then he'll slowly get eased back into the game. Who knows? Maybe the whole of December could just disappear as well. N'Golo Kante is unavailable. I mean, as I said, we need to manage his time, no doubt about that. But it's serious concerns with N'Golo Kante at the moment. We can't seem to get more than 1, maximum 2 games a week from him. 1 game is probably stretching it now as well. 1 a week is like, N'Golo, you're doing a great job. For me, we have to think seriously in the summer. What do we want? I love N'Golo Kante. He's an exceptional player, one of our very few world-class players, you'd say, in our team. And yeah, for me, he definitely needs to stick around and definitely is a massive part of our squad. But if he just keeps being injured like this and doesn't have doesn't feature on a regular basis, then we have to seriously ask the question whether someone like, we've been linked with Declan Rice, we've been linked with Tchouaméni, we've been linked with, Conor Gallagher coming back. We have to seriously think about all of this stuff. Next thing that I want to talk about is Thomas Tuchel talking about managing heavy schedule. I was trying to go through all of the, key components of the press conference before I sort of go into the team selection. Thomas Tuchel, managing heavy schedule, it will be challenging, but it was challenging before, so we don't change our routine. We have very close and tight communication with medical and fitness department. We try to predict the load, look into the data. So, look, expect a bit of rotation for this particular match against Watford. As I said, in 2 days' time, straight after Watford, will be West Ham. And Thomas Tuchel talks about how recovery is very important. So straight after the Watford game, you're probably going to have the next day as a recovery, and then you only have 1 day of training on preparation for the West Ham. So I will find it very difficult if there's no heavy rotation for this particular match. Thomas Tuchel, in regards to Romelu Lukaku, he came on and we continued to train. There is no reaction from his injured ankle. He's ready to progress. This is where he is. I have to seriously consider him starting for this particular match, if I'm being honest. I don't know what the situation for Kai Havertz is. He didn't feature in the last match either. He was in the squad, though. He was in the bench. I think both would have to share the load. Maybe Romelu starts, plays for 60 minutes, if that's all he can manage. And then Kai Havertz comes in and finishes the match off. We've got serious concerns up front now. Romelu Lukaku obviously coming back from injury, slowly easing back. So injuries are absolutely killing us. But I have to consider him to start, if I'm being honest, because I don't know the status of Kai Havertz at the moment. Thomas Tuchel on left wing-back options. Let's talk a little bit about this because there's a lot of talk going on about Marcos Alonso and what's going to happen. Is he the long-term solution? Can he manage that many games per week in the month of December? We've got, 8 or 9 games, game every 3 days almost, sometimes 2. So can Marcos Alonso manage it? Do we need depth? And the funny thing is, Thomas Tuchel actually talked about Callum being an option. So Callum seems to be a serious option for him in the wing-back position. Obviously, he played in the right wing-back, but he's also a option in the left wing-back. Now, I personally don't like it. I don't want to see Callum in left wing-back. I'd rather have him in the forward positions. But seems like he's an option. But this is what he had to say about the wing-back options. Yes, we have cover. We have Marcos, who started at the start of when Chile was in a difficult moment. We trust him, his experience. So it looks like he's the number 1 selection. Marcos Alonso is the number 1 selection. Whether we like it or not, whether we have our reservations, our perceptions on it, I definitely have a different perception. I always, I've recently talked about Saul being a very, very good option for that particular scenario because let's face it, that wing-back position is really like a midfielder position, box to box. So for me, that's why it's very important. Thomas Tuchel, in regards to forwards lacking goals, this is another issue. Our attackers are just not banging goals. This is what he had to say. They try hard. Their contribution to the high press is immense. You can see this in every game live and in the data afterwards. When they arrive with chances, they don't arrive fully relaxed. This is very important. When they arrive with the chances, they don't arrive fully relaxed. That may be cost us with precision. This is very true. I barely see our attackers being composed in front of goals, being ruthless and commanding, looking like full of confidence in front of goals. There's always some sort of hesitation. There's hesitations with a shot. There's hesitations with the way we finish. But you look at some other players in the Premier League, and I know it's probably not right to compare them with Salah, Mane, they're top of the range, but even with City, they're so emphatic in front of the goals. They're so emphatic, so confident, they know exactly what to do. And I can only hope that our players just start learning to relax, just calm down. Don't get too overexcited when right in front of the goals and your eyes just light up. Stay calm, stay relaxed, and trust your instincts, trust your skill set. Because in the training, we see it. They're banging those goals. And I know training is different from the match, but trust your instincts and just believe in your skill set, and it should be okay. I know it's very difficult, saying it than actually doing it. Thomas Tuchel on forwards lacking goals again. It's good sign that we have the feeling that we deserve more. We trust them. They have the quality to score. It's on us to bring them into positions where it's possible to score, and to do so, do this as often as possible, maybe more often. That's the thing. We need to create more chances for them so they get into these positions more often. It continues on to say they have the quality. They have huge impact on our defensive game. That's why, in general, we are happy with them. So overall, he seems to be happy. Now, before we go into the Watford situation, because they're in a bit of a mess in terms of injury front, for me, this is a very important game, ladies and gentlemen. If we want to be in the title chase, I honestly can't see how Liverpool and City drop any more points. This is the particular situation where they build up steam. They build up a lot of fire and they go on a bit of a juggernaut and they end up, winning games left, right, and center. We need to keep up with the pace. I know it's going to be difficult against Watford. Watford's in a bit of a bounce with Claudio Ranieri. They had a big win against Man United. Yes, they lost against Leicester in the last game week, but at home, they're going to find that, that support from their crowd. And they play with a lot of intensity and a lot of physicality. It's not going to be easy against Watford, although some of their players are injured, but they have that mentality to really press well, be physical, and they're actually quite clinical. They can finish up front. Joshua King is a particular player that's been doing well. They've got Dennis, they've got Sasa, I think could be in the injury front. But yeah, for me, we have to do our level best to win it. We have to, because we've got West Ham after this. We want to go into that particular match with a win behind us. That match against Man United, we have to forget about it. Honestly, we have to change that and get a win. It's huge. It's huge for the title chase. Looking at Watford's situation, this is their latest injury front at the moment. Injury update: Ismail Sarr, Nicholas Nkulu, Ben Foster, Adam Messina, Emmanuel Dennis as well is actually in the injury list. Georgia Kupka, Ken Sema, Francesco Sierralta, Peter Etebo, Quadro Bar. So quite a lot of players that are doubtful. We'll see how many of these actually make it. They have a game as well in the weekend, so you'd expect them to rotate a little bit, but maybe some of the players could actually turn up for this match and then maybe get rotated for the particular match in the weekend. Let's get straight into this particular situation. The predicted lineup, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with Mendy in goalkeeper position. Some of you may say, look, Kepa hasn't played for a while. Could this be a game for Kepa and then Mendy comes back in West Ham? I see no reason to change this around, honestly. For me, switching keepers around in the Premier League is just meaningless. And Mendy is not, it's not a position that you fatigue. We've got, I believe, the Carabao Cup match coming up in this particular month, and Kepa could possibly get that. In fact, he should get that. So for me, it's Mendy. Rudy has to continue on. We just don't have a proper, cover for Rudy. You can say Malang Sarr, at the end of the day, he's nowhere near Rudy's quality. So for me, Rudy continues, which is very tough because sooner or later he's going to need some break as well. Let's be honest. But we're looking forward to that Carabao Cup where he gets some break. Christensen undoubtedly has to start coming in. I mean, Silva, he's played 3 games in a row. He played Leicester, Man United, and in the midweek, Juventus. I can't see him how he continues playing. And we've got West Ham coming up. He's probably going to feature that one. And I'd rather have him against a robust West Ham team. So for me, Christensen comes in. He hasn't played 3 games in a row. I don't think there is any injury issues with him. So for me, he continues on. It has to be Chalobah. We don't have any other options at the moment. If we're going to give Silva a bit of a rest, Chalobah needs to continue. And the reason why I'm saying Chalobah is because I'm going to have to play Aspie here because I don't want to risk Reece James. I'd rather him have the rest and play against West Ham. Big match against West Ham. I need him fit. He's one of our key components. And Aspie hasn't played that much in recent times. So it's time Aspie comes into the frame. So for me, I need to be cautious with Reece James. I don't want to risk another injury. And if he gets injured, it's lights out. It's lights out. So Aspie this game has to do something for me. Reece James, if need be, can come off the bench. I don't think we have an option. Alonso is the one. He's not injured. And hopefully the more matches he gets better and better. But for me, he's not the option, as I've already said. Saul would be a good chance, but I think Saul might need to play in midfield now, in all honesty. We're short there as well. So Alonso plays in this particular match for me. Jorginho is doubtful, and he's been playing quite a few games as well. Once again, I can't risk him. No Kante, no Kovacic. You could say, how could we do without Jorginho? He needs to be played. But then what do you do against West Ham? You can't drive these players to the mud. You have to give them a break. So for me, I'd rather see Jorginho against West Ham if Kante is not ready. So Let me know what your thoughts are. We could be in different sort of opinion on this one, but I would go with possibly a Saul and Ruben Loftus-Cheek by default, in all honesty. I mean, some could say Barkley, but Barkley probably likes to play a bit further up. Barkley, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I don't really like that combination. Saul, Ruben Loftus-Cheek could work in the sense that we've seen Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing deep. Now, whether we like it or not, I personally want him to play a bit further up in midfield, be box to box. But in this situation, we could probably see Saul be box to box and Ruben playing a little bit deeper. And he's played that this season against Southampton earlier on, and against Aston Villa as well in the Carabao Cup. So he's going to have to do a job, and he's going to have to lift his game, because against Man United, you know, he was asleep. Let's be honest. Up front, I know Callum's been playing a lot. Does he deserve a break? Perhaps he does. It's time Pulisic starts in the left inside forward role. He's not injured. He's fit. He got some minutes against Man United. He started against Juventus. Let's give him an opportunity in his preferred role, which is left, sort of inside forward, left wing. Let's see what he's capable of doing. So I'm happy to give Pulisic an opportunity. Mason Mount, you could say Ziyech, but Ziyech probably featured against West Ham, and he has played 3 games in a row as well, Ziyech. So coming off the bench against Leicester, starting for Juventus, starting against Juventus, starting against Man United. He hasn't been as bad as some of these social media big accounts have been talking about. He definitely hasn't been. He wasn't one of the bad players against Man United. In fact, he was semi-decent. I said he was 50-50. There were some things that I really liked, some things I didn't. This particular match, I'm going to bring in Mount. Mount's been buzzing. He's got some minutes against Man United, and he's ready to start. He's been training well as well. This is what Thomas Tuchel has been saying previously. I mean, so I'm looking for his impact, the pressing up front. He can help out in midfield as well. And yeah, for me, he starts Mason Mount. And up front, as I said, Timo Werner, there's some doubts about him, and I don't want to see him up front anyway with Timo Werner. Kai Havertz, I don't know what the latest news is, ladies and gentlemen, could be still sort of semi-injured and maybe get eased into the game on this particular scenario. Lukaku, we've already seen him feature against Man United. I think it's about time he gets a start. As I said, probably play 60 minutes maximum, if that's all he's capable of, and then we can bring in Kai Havertz. I might even put Kai Havertz just behind. So this is what I would go for, hoping, because Kai Havertz was in the squad against Man United, just didn't play, but hoping he can come off the bench. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my squad. This is the Chelsea predicted lineup. Mendy in goalkeeper, Rudy, Christensen, Chalobah, Alonso, Azpilicueta, Saul, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Pulisic, Mount, Lukaku, Havertz to get some minutes off the bench. Look, I think it's still a strong enough squad. Yes, it is heavily rotated from what our team was literally 2 to 3 weeks ago when we were going through all of those wins. But still a team that can beat Watford, no doubt. I'm hoping we can win a 2-0, 2-1. I think Watford may score here. But if we can squeeze out a 2-0 or a 2-1, I think that'll be perfect. Let me know what your thoughts are, ladies and gentlemen. Do you like that team? What's your score prediction? How are you feeling moving into this game? Would love to know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this preview, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to get in touch with all my content. Check out my latest stream about Federico Chiesa. I'm going to be doing another stream tomorrow about Chiesa and Timo Werner. Big conversations going on. We shouldn't be taking this lightly one bit. So do look out for that. Until next time. Also, obviously, make sure you're there for the watch along. I'll be there doing the watch along for Watford versus Chelsea. So until next time, everyone, take care and see you.